This episode of Gators Breakdown is brought to you by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. Go to HelloFresh.com/Gators50. Use code Gators50 for 50% off plus free shipping.
Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
The Gators Breakdown podcast is ready to go. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on Twitter at GatorDave_SEC, or I guess X. Is that what we should call it now? I'm kind of a groove there with that intro, but Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. Follow me at GatorDave_SEC. So, hey, big episode right here as Gators edge defender Princely Umanmielen joins me right here on Gators Breakdown, going into a lot ahead of this season. Fall camp kicking off with the Gators later on in just a few days, honestly. So right here at the end of July. And, hey, Princely and I go into his position change, how it happened, the difference between Toney, Austin Armstrong, the defensive coordinator there, a funny Billy Napier story toward the end, talk uniforms. We go all kind of places right here with Princely. Really fun interview with him, brought to us by Florida Victorious. And, of course, you can find so much more there. Get 20% off your first month with promo code GatorsBD. Link is in the description to join Florida Victorious. But a good series going on right now. You're not going to hear from the true freshmen this year. That's kind of just a Billy Napier rule. But you do get to hear from them from Florida Victorious. So Roger Kearney, Trayon Webb, Eugene Wilson up there right now in your member dashboard if you're a member of Florida Victorious. If not, join right now for 20% off your first month using promo code GatorsBD. You get access to their message board as well. Some really good info in there from time to time. So, and look, also it just supports Florida's NIL efforts, of course, making it attractive to recruits, making it attractive to current players to keep them in the fold right here. And just a lot of stuff going on. All the community work you hear Princely and I go into it here in just a few minutes as well. So a lot of good things happening for the NIL efforts through Florida Victorious. So, all right, without further ado, here's my sit down with Princely Umanmielen. All right, and joining me right here on Gators Breakdown, Gators edge player Princely Umanmielen, right here on Gators Breakdown through Florida Victorious. Princely, man, I hope fall camp right on the horizon. I hope, since we saw you last in the spring game in spring, I hope these last few months have been treating you well.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good.
What you anything fun this summer? Any while you got some free time, I guess, before fall camp starts? What's Princely been doing?
Working out, OTAs. So like, even though we're not in fall camp, we still working every day though.
Yeah. I was going to go there. So you are moving to a new position, of course. We got the move from, I guess, more of a defensive end to the edge spot. And, we heard you early in the process. You were talking to the media a bit. How do you feel? We heard you early on. So how do you feel you grew in the springtime from, early on in that transition to the spring game? How do you feel you grew into that role by the time spring was over with?
I think that from the first spring practice to the last spring practice, I really had to get comfortable standing up at all times. I've stood up before, but I never really stood up in the run game. So I would stand up if I was pass rushing or dropping, but I never stood up to play the run. So I had to get used to that, and I got better over time. And also the dropping. When I played defensive end, we dropped, but we would have literally one specific type of drop that we had. So learning the different kind of coverages I had to be in and things like that, I really got much, much better at those things towards the end of the spring.
So explain that to us a little bit. You said you got to change, I guess, your responsibility in playing the run and some of the ways you have to play the pass, but specifically going back to that run part. What does change? That now that you're standing up instead of down in the stance.
I feel like down in the 3-point stance, I feel like I've just done it so long that I'm just so comfortable in it. So I had to get a little uncomfortable by standing up, and it's not too much of a difference. I feel like in the 3-point stance, you can get out lower, but I'm no longer playing that 4-eye and that 3 technique like I was sometimes last year. I'm solely on the edge, so I don't have to get as low, but Yeah, the big difference was me getting more comfortable in the stand up.
How did the move come about, Prince? Was it something? I'm sure the coaches to approach you first with it, of saying, "Hey, this is how we want to use you." You know, this is maybe something we saw on film last year as we played a whole season and going through it. Do you think that they saw something in it? Was it something maybe you brought up in some form or fashion, or was it something with this change at defensive coordinator, Austin Armstrong coming in, and now Mike Peterson getting that edge role, and more so than Sean Spencer now being your coach? Was it something they noticed, or was it something that maybe you had in mind as well?
So it had came about even before Coach Toney left. It was really just it just like it hit me randomly. They probably was talking about it, for weeks or whatever, but it came to me randomly. Like one day, I think I was just either in the facility or at home, and I got a text from Coach Spencer, and he texted me, told me to meet him in his office, and he just let me know. He was like, "Hey, we think we could use you better as an outside linebacker, so we're gonna go ahead and go with that move." And then after that, I want to talk to Mike Peterson, which is my coach now, and he let me know the same thing. And they were just real cool about it. But yeah, they really had came up to me about it, and I just feel like my body type, even before them, like when Grantham was here my sophomore year, Coach Grantham had me coming in his room with the outside linebackers some weeks at a time. Like some people don't know, my sophomore year versus LSU, I played outside linebacker a couple snaps that game. But I just feel like it's not a mistake. Like the kind of body type that I have and the athleticism and the way that I could rush the passer, I've always felt like at the next level I was going to play that position anyways. But I also felt like it was good that I got the experience on the playing 3 technique 4. Getting that experience, going up against bigger guys and getting that inside experience. But yeah, I always felt like with my body type, that's the position I was going to eventually be at.
That's good. And look, of course, a lot of change on that side of the ball. Last year, this is your third straight defensive coordinator now. You go from Grantham to Toney to Armstrong now.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been through a whirlwind with defensive coordinators right now. So, yeah, how big of a difference is it between Armstrong and Toney? And would you have seen the changes in defense anyway? You think, just in Toney being in his second year, but now he's on to the NFL. What changes do Austin Armstrong does he bring to the table? And do you think we probably would have seen some of those changes anyway?
I feel like they're very similar in the aspect that they run similar defenses. So when Coach Armstrong came, we didn't have to really change a lot because a lot of his defense was very similar to PT's defense. But
right.
I think the big difference with them was it's just their personalities. Like Coach PT, he's kind of like he'll yell and cuss or whatever, but he's kind of like if he last resort type. But Coach Armstrong, he's just fired up all the time. First meeting, he came in and introduced himself to us. He was fired up. Every practice, he's fired up. He's fired up in the meetings. He's always fired up. He really emphasizes aggression and getting to the ball and things like that. And I also feel like Coach Armstrong really knows how to, for example, on offense, coaches usually put coaches for example, Kadarius Toney when Mullen was here, he was placed in the position to use the kind of skill set that he had, and that's a big thing that coaches do on offense. They use players to their skill set, and I think that's a big thing that Coach Armstrong is doing also.
Yeah, like I said, we got a preview of it in the spring game a little bit, and you guys were certainly a lot more aggressive than I think we expected, at least for that night. Not saying you guys couldn't do that, but just in that setting, how aggressive could you guys be? And hey, man, I'll give credit to Coach Napier there. He let you guys go after. He let you guys go after that offense and didn't dial back the dogs a little bit. So take us back to that night a little bit. You think that's something that we'll look for in this defense is just how aggressive you guys were?
Yeah, I feel like everybody around the country and other teams and everybody and analysts and all that, they were really stuck on I'm glad that you brought that up because I feel like everybody that was watching us was really stuck on how many points our offense didn't score. They was the score was really 10 to whatever it was, low scoring game, but they really weren't thinking about how well our defense was playing. So yeah, I feel like this upcoming season, I feel like we have a lot to prove, and I just feel like we're gonna surprise a lot of people on defense.
One more change for you, Princely, when we're talking about this defense. And what was it like going with Mike Peterson? Now, not so much, Sean Spencer now. Now you're under the wing of Mike Peterson and the experience he had playing at Florida, all the experience he had in the NFL as well, years and years in the NFL. Is there, something that you're picking his brains about to know that, what you have to take to get to that next level?
Yeah, mainly I feel like as far as the physical and as far as the physical aspect, like he even tells me, I feel like I'm not too far off as far as the physical aspect, but he really tries to get into my head about the mental aspect, like offensive formations and just things like that. What kind of coverage were like before? I ain't gonna lie, like before I was with Mike P, I'm so used to just playing D-line, specifically D-line. I didn't even know like coverages. Like, what's cover 2? Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so he explains all those things to me. Like, he explains the type of offensive formations, like the plays that the offense are going to run with the formations they're in and things like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, good. I mean, that's stuff you'll have to know. We'll get into that just a sec too, about, maybe getting to the next level a little bit. There's some stuff you're getting kind of noticed. There's some NFL, NFL coming up a little bit, and Princely's name's out there a bit in some NFL talk right now. But Princely, while we're here, we'll switch gears a bit, and then we'll get back to football, of course. And Florida Victorious coming up with the new leader of Florida's NIL ventures right now, and the big foundation that they have going on. There's a lot of charity aspects to NIL and what you guys are doing. It's not just collecting a check out there. You talk about some of the things that you've done personally and your teammates have done, to get out there in the community and really become staples of the Gainesville community.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing and that we're doing, the way that they set that up. Like I've done things like went to Bread of Almighty Food Bank and helped sort things out, sort food out, went to the Ronald McDonald House and was with the kids and the parents' kids. I mean, the parents of the kids and baked desserts with them, went to YMCA and played with the kids. And it's just a great experience, when you walk in and they're just happy and overwhelmed that you're like a Gator football player is with them. It really makes you smile. But yeah, just being in the community, it does a lot for you, man. It changes your perspective on a lot of things, and it's just a good feeling to be able to help people week in and week out.
Yeah, we like seeing that aspect of it. We'll stay NIL and Florida Victorious. Have you taken a notice of just I guess change in NIL at Florida through Florida Victorious and what's going on there?
I feel like Florida Victorious, they really they're involving. I would say the biggest thing I would say is that they're involving more players. Like Gator Collective, I wasn't even a part of Gator Collective. Like I couldn't tell you anything about it. I never was I wasn't one of the athletes signed with Gator Collective, and now you go to out now with Florida Victorious. Like there's almost all the scholarship players are with Florida Victorious. So yeah, just helping out everyone is like a big thing that they're doing.
Yeah, we like seeing what you guys doing out there. And hey, everybody, while you're listening, Florida Victorious, you get 20% off your first month with promo code GatorsBD. Help these guys out, NIL. You're doing great things in the community. It really attracts future Gators as well, but takes care of these players that we have on campus right here at Florida, like Princely and his teammates out there doing great things in the community. So one more time, 20% off your first month. Promo code GatorsBD. You get access. Hey, there's some new freshman features out there. Roger Kearney's out there right now with his kind of feature. So you get to know more about these true freshmen out there through Florida Victorious. So Princely, keep it going. We'll get back to football just a bit. And hey, man, take us back to last season. And it just seemed like more opportunity came available as the year played on. After Brenton Cox gets dismissed, and hey, I mean, defensive line ended up playing pretty good down the stretch there. I mean, you had 16 tackles in the last 4 regular season games. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Pro Football Focus, they rated you the highest defender on the team last year. Yeah, I mean, great accolades there for you, man. And I hope you build on that, but led the team in tackles for loss and sacks and, all that. Now you tie this into this new position you have. There has to be some thought that you can build on late last season tied into spring in this new position?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last season, I felt like I had got more opportunities as the year went on. I feel like this season I'll even have. Last season I wouldn't say I was satisfied with how I played. I got this PFF thing and all that, but I could say I think that wasn't even near, where I could actually be. I don't think I was anywhere near like as consistent and as dominant that I could really be. And this upcoming season, I feel like I'll have even more opportunities than I did close to the end of the year last season.
Gators Breakdown is proud to partner with America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh. Hey guys, I'm busy out there, full-time job doing Gators Breakdown paired with that as well. So, hey, my time is very, very limited, and I cannot wait to get my HelloFresh boxes to get this thing going and help me save some time. Get some family meals going right here with HelloFresh. HelloFresh, hey, they want you to have it all. Free time and fresh, tasty food. That's why they take care of the meal planning and deliver the ingredients. So everything you need to whip up a delicious meal arrives right at your door. When you need dinner fast, don't call for delivery. Think HelloFresh. Their fast and fresh recipes are ready in just 15 minutes or less. Plus, HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout. Just because it's fast doesn't mean it's not healthy. Meals feature quality proteins, fresh produce, and plans for many lifestyles. It's no wonder why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Right now is the time to join. Go to HelloFresh.com/Gators50. Use code Gators50 for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh.com/Gators50 and use code Gators50 for 50% off plus free shipping. Get your time back. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. I got to know now because you kind of came through in that Texas A&M game, and I know that was probably a little personal for you, going back home a little bit and playing in the States. So as I said too, you won't have to really go into it. But Brenton Cox gets dismissed that week as well, so it was certainly a more opportunity for you and Antoine Powell-Ryland to get out there, and you guys really showed up. But was there a little added motivation going back home and playing in front of the home state?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely some added motivation. My parents, that was only the first game they ever watched me play. So my 20.
No, wait, really?
Yeah.
So they don't get to go to Gainesville and watch you much?
Nah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So my freshman year, they had came to the A&M game also, but I didn't play that game.
Okay.
And then this past season, my parents had came, and I had a whole bunch of friends from back home. Like I was scrambling around the locker room asking people to let me get their tickets and stuff like that. So yeah, like I had a whole bunch of people there to watch me. So yeah, I had to show out.
All right, so here's the thing, man. You could go and have this great season this year, and this could be your last season at Florida. You could be going on to the NFL. So hold on now. Are there any plans to get your family in Gainesville for a game this fall?
Yeah, my parents, my mom actually, like, not even too long ago asked me to send her the schedule. So yeah, they said they plan. They said they told me that they're planning on getting to Gainesville. I was laughing when you was asking the question because you had talked about I might leave next year. I thought you were gonna ask me about coming back to play Texas.
Hey, you read my mind. You read my mind. Because that's where I was going to go. So I remember when Florida releases who Florida's going to play in 2024.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, you were the one that was highlighting Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And it makes sense. You're from the state. So, if you do have this great season, you may not be here to play Texas.
Man, it's going. I'm gonna be. Even I ain't gonna lie. Even like I was texting my friends, I was texting them. I was like, even if I have a great season, I really would have a thought to come back just to play Texas. Like I have I'm from Austin. Like the campus is like 15 minutes away from my house, if that. And I have a lot of friends and things like that went to Texas. Like my homeboy Jade Barron. Like we grew up together. He plays DB at Texas, and we used to always yap back and forth. We'll beat y'all. Da, 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 da. But we never thought the day would come that we was actually gonna play them. Like we was just talking. And now that the day has actually come that we could actually play Texas, you know, it really makes me mad that I could possibly not be here, you know, when we.
Well, if you're not here, it'll be for a good reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's even wilder that it's in Austin too, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe if you are in the NFL, maybe it'll be a bye week for you or something, and you could be in Austin for the game if you're not playing. But Presley, I do have some questions from some Gators Breakdown Plus members, right quick. And Dude on the Couch asked that's his username, pretty cool username there. But
I'm on the couch too, man.
How have Mark Hawk and the strength staff, you know, you talked about training and all that, you know, go back to winter conditioning and also what, you know, just now what you're getting out of and get ready to go to fall camp. We don't get to hear much about the strength conditioning staff, you know, so if you want to detail those guys and how they help you out.
They help out a lot. Like Coach Hockey, he doesn't only help me in the weight room. Like he's a real, like he's a everything kind of coach. Like he'll talk to me about being a leader. He'll talk to me about life outside of football, like my mental health, things like that. So he really is he's a good dude. Like he's not only there just to help you with strength conditioning. Like he'll pull you to the side and talk about everything else. Talk about things going on with the team. Talking about things going on with you personally. Helping you grow. Like that's the type of coach he is. And yeah, other than that, like the strength staff, like we have a lot of guys that specialize in certain things, and that's a big a great thing because you know we got Coach Tiger and Coach Ed. They specialize in speed, and Coach Tiger specializes as receivers. He played D1 receiver. Coach Ed, he specialized with the DBs. He played D1 DB. Coach AY, he played at Alabama outside linebacker. Our D-line, Coach Dunbar, he played D1 D-line, you know, so it's just a blessing that all these strength coaches, even though they're strength coaches, they played the position that they played every position that guys played, you know, in college. So they know what it's like. They know what you need to do to be better on the field. So it's great that we have all those guys on the strength staff.
Yeah, and keeping with that, I know Florida just put out the new roster, and so you can tell us if this is correct or not, but you're up from 245 to 254?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So training, I guess, has been doing its job there. So, you know, is that where they want you playing weight? Is there more to do before fall camp? You know, is that where are you partly at your ideal size where they want you?
They tell me they could like that they would want me at like 260, 265-ish type, but not like a I can like if I right now 254, I can eat a whole bunch of BS and become 265 next week. You know what I'm saying? But they like I really want to emphasize like putting on healthy weight, eating a lot of protein and things like that. So yeah, I think I can get up to that, but I just want to make sure that it's healthy muscle weight and like
Yeah, for sure. One more Gators Breakdown Plus member, Southern Gators, says, what is your mindset and the mindset of the team after, you know, probably what could be perceived as disrespect, you know, maybe heading into the season? Not a lot of high thoughts for Florida. You know, maybe, you know, the 6-7 record last year and not a lot of high thoughts of maybe going out competing for the SEC East or anything like that. So is there a mindset? I know you guys want to improve on that record yourself, but do you hear all the noise and negative comments that may be headed this team's way? Oh,
yeah, for sure. We hear it. Like Coach Napier said a few months ago, it's personal, you know, like this season is really personal for us. You know, we don't really talk too much about it in the locker room, like amongst each other. We might talk about it more whenever the season gets closer. But we know, like all of us in the back of our head, we see everything. We know what people think of us. And I think that's just a bigger motivation for us to get it on and get better.
Yeah, man. Really excited. Yeah, man, I'm excited for this defense, man. I really am. I think you guys are maybe even deeper up front and probably going along with that. Talk to me about these transfers a little bit. Cam Jackson, Noah Banks, those guys coming in. What did you see from spring and workouts that those guys will be big-time contributors up front and, you know, even help you outside, you know, where they'll be taking a lot of focus on the inside?
Yeah.
Is this a deeper group than last year? I mean, because as good as Jervon Dexter was, and he's going on to the NFL, and he probably played out of position at times because of need to. Probably played too many snaps last year because of need to. Do you feel you guys are deeper with those transfers coming in and more development for guys like Chris McClellan and Desmond Watson?
Oh yeah, for sure. Big G. Yeah, he was a great player that we had last year. He definitely took like an overwhelming amount of snaps because of lack of depth. Like he was in games like overly tired and things like that because all the other guys under him were really young and things like that. So he played a lot of snaps. And this season we got all these D tackle transfers. And the great thing about these transfers is they're ready to go. Like watching them in the spring, they don't really need much development. Everybody can always get better, but you could tell like these guys are. If I was a coach, I would, and I'm watching them, I could see that they're ready to play in a game right now. So yeah, it's a great thing that we got those guys, and it really helped with the depth, and it also helped with the competition in that room. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody in that room was comfortable. Everybody's trying to work, to be the starter, and everybody is in there working.
Man, I can't imagine. It probably just helps you too. If you can concentrate on the outside. There's so much focus on the inside. Now that frees you up to go make some plays back there in the backfield. Princely, I'm excited to see you, man, in that new spot. It's talking about that spot. What about guys behind you? You got Jack Pyburn, a young player from last year, and TJ Searcy, true freshman. I think are those two guys that you're kind of gonna be putting under your wing coming up this fall?
Oh yeah, for sure. Jack, he's really young. He got a minimum amount of snaps his freshman year. TJ, he's a freshman, so yeah, I know we was just talking about the D tackle room. They got a lot of depth guys, transfers. We on our side, we don't have too many. So those young guys, they're really gonna have to step up to a role, because I can't play every single snap of the game. So yeah, like I feel like Jack, he's still a little young, but he knows what he's doing when he's on the field. He has that. Jack is a really aggressive guy. Like whenever he's on the field, Jack is on the field. TJ one day in these next couple of years of his college career, he's going to be a great pass rusher. Like he rushes off the edge, great for being a young guy right now. And I'm looking forward to see both of those guys play and develop. All
right, a couple more thoughts from Princely before we let him go, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to Gators Breakdown if you haven't done so yet. Go to Florida Victorious, help these guys out at NIL there for Florida. One more from Gators Breakdown Plus member. This one comes from Stas or Stas. I hope I'm saying that right. But your thoughts on the schedule, but mainly Thursday night, opening game, Utah. How much are you guys putting on that? I mean, Thursday night, everybody in the country is going to be watching this, the first big game of the college football season. And it's Gators, and you guys going all.
Are we the only ones playing that today?
There are some other games, but nothing as marquee as this one. It's 8:00. It's prime time that Thursday night. So, I guess you asking the question there. I mean, are you guys putting a lot of stock into it yet, or is it in a couple of weeks when you go into that locker room for fall camp? You guys are kind of putting that game on your mind.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know when fall camp starts, we're really going to be locked in for Utah. As far as the schedule goes, you can't underestimate anybody, but we're confident in ourselves. We're not going to go into any game thinking we're going to lose this game. So I feel like as far as the schedule goes, we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. Utah, we beat them last year. Great way to end the game. I feel like we're a more talented team than Utah. I feel like we just have to be disciplined, and everything else will take care of itself, and play together as a team.
Yeah, ready to get the season underway. The big game under the lights for the Gators there in Utah. Princely, last one. I ask all the players this, kind of just in on a fun note there, but I'll take it a couple ways right quick. Have you seen? You don't have to say much, but if you can, have you seen anything with the black jerseys that you guys are supposed to be wearing this year?
I have not. I haven't seen anything. I haven't even looked at them.
Are you a fan of the idea of?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we was trying to get those since Mullen was here.
Okay, but let's go traditional right quick. As far as I ask every player, Billy Napier will come to you before the game. And he said, Princely, you will get to pick the uniform the team plays this year. So what color helmet, what color jersey, what color pants is Princely putting on the team to run out of that tunnel with?
I'm gonna do an away game and a home game.
Okay, all right, there we go.
Away game. Away game, I would definitely do. I would definitely do all white, even white helmets.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, I like the all icy white.
Me too.
We haven't really. I don't think we wore that since 2020 because we don't have white helmets. But in 2020, they did like a different thing, and we wore white helmets for the Vanderbilt week.
Yep.
But yeah, if we could do all white with white helmets, I would do that. And then home game, I really like the all blue.
Me too.
And the all orange. Like they give like NFL color rush vibes.
We don't get to see the all orange. Napier didn't let you guys break out the all orange last year.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He was trying to be traditional for this first season,
I get it. But yeah, year 2, we get the black jerseys. Maybe we get to see you guys in orange a little bit. Maybe the blue helmet comes back a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Hey, any funny Napier stories before we go? Anything that kind of just shows his personality that maybe we don't get to see? That you can share. I don't want to get you in any hot water here. So.
Yeah. I guess this one's not too bad. Like, so one thing about Coach Napier, he doesn't cuss. Like, coaches, they always yell at motherfucker, da, 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 da. And Coach Napier just never cusses. Like, you never hear him cuss.
Does he have other words for it?
No, he doesn't.
No?
He just
okay.
The one cuss word he only says, and I wouldn't even consider a cuss word, is ass. That's the only thing he says. So like even when he's yelling, he doesn't cuss, and everybody's like, "How can he be so aggressive without cussing?" Like it doesn't make no sense. And then one day he wasn't even being aggressive or nothing. He was just we was just talking outside the after a scrimmage, and he was like, "We know it's hot out here. We don't want to hear no bitching." And everybody was like, "What the hell? What?" He just like everybody head turns and was just like, "He just said that. What?" So yeah.
All right. So. We know he'll break out of it just a little bit.
One time since he's been here.
One time. Okay. Sounds good. All right, Prince. Hey man, thank you for hopping on here. We get the season coming up. Through Florida Victorious, the great work they're doing, the great work you guys are doing out there in the community means a whole lot. And I'm glad there's a way we can support NIL, support you guys and doing what you're doing. Look, it's hard. You got school, you got football. It's hard to go out there and work and get a job and all that stuff going on. And the work you guys do, and you should be able to benefit off name, image, and likeness. So thanks to Florida Victorious, for lining all this stuff up for you guys, and you coming on podcasts like this and getting out in front of Gator Nation. Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate you.